Prime Minister Barak, thank you so much for joining us. Before we get to this concern about what Iran's retaliatory strike may look like, I do want to get you to respond to the report we just played about the ability for Hamas to still recruit fighters and where you think that lies in relation to what we've heard from the Prime Minister in his statements that the IDF is on the verge of success in its mission to take out Hamas.
You know, it's the reality is probably somewhere in between those two versions. It was clear to anyone who have any military experience that from day one, some 10 months ago, the right way to deal with Hamas, which is basically, it's not an orderly run army, it's kind of a terror organization that excels in guerrilla war, not in a full-scale kind of clash between armies. The right way was the following. Israel has a compelling imperative to put an end to reigning over Hamas, reigning of Hamas over the Gaza Strip, and to make sure that Hamas cannot threaten Israel anymore. But the practical way to achieve it was to attack the whole Gaza Strip simultaneously with our much superior power to cause the most damage that we can and to take control of all the cities, all the camps, all the neighborhoods simultaneously. The Gaza Strip is a tiny piece of ground that could easily be done within several weeks. And then to handle the Gaza Strip into the hands of a multinational Arab force backed by the Arab League and by the Americans, who will take it from us and will take it for limited period, let's say 9 months or probably 18 months, during which they will bring back into the area what President Biden called revived Palestinian Authority. You cannot run the Gaza Strip with the Norwegians or French people. You need Palestinians, and the only legitimate internationally recognized body is the Palestinian Authority. They are short of perfect, but they are much better than the Hamas. And that was the right trajectory. It was clear from day one that in the terms of guerrilla warfare, Hamas can drag it over years, and that's not our business to stay there for years. So this opportunity was missed once and again all along the last 10 months.
And here you
President
are, right.
Biden proposed it a few weeks after the opening of the war.
Yeah, here you are, as you noted, 10 months into what is Israel's now longest war since its war of independence. And in addition to that, anticipating a response from Iran following two assassination strikes back-to-back, one against a Hezbollah commander, Fouad Shakir, in Beiruut. And obviously that was followed by Ismail Haniya in his assassination, which the IDF and Israel did not take credit for, but is largely believed to be behind. I'm curious, here we are again. We were facing a response from Iran, which Israel did get by an unprecedented 300 projectiles, missiles and drones lobbed towards Israel, successfully shot down by Israel with the help of the United States and other regional partners. The concern here, as you know, Mr. Prime Minister, is that Iran appears to have recruited other proxies, including Hezbollah and the Houthis, who are now expected to be part of this attack. How large in scale do you think we could see this response?
You cannot predict it. I remember cases in the past where they responded immediately or within several days, and there were other cases, quite prominent ones, when they responded only after 6 weeks. So it could be anything in between. Basically, we are prepared. We are thankful for the American deployment, very heavy deployment in the region, in the air and on the sea and on the ground in neighboring countries, and the readiness to support Israel in this attempt to block this attack. The what will follow after the attack will depend on its results. If more than few Israeli citizens will be killed, it might lead to another response that will gradually drag us into a full-scale regional war. I don't think that we have interest to have it right now, and I would not recommend it to the Iranians as well, but it's beyond our control. It can happen in the coming days or weeks.
With the U.S., they're obviously sending battleships to the region. We have the CENTCOM commander who is there as we speak. The President of the United States just spoke to King Abdullah of Jordan, and there had been some speculation as to whether or not he would personally ask, if need be, to use Jordanian airspace. As I noted earlier, it wasn't just the U.S. that helped thwart some of those projectiles. It was regional countries as well, including Jordan. Do you expect the same response from them and other neighboring countries if, in fact, we do see Israel receiving from multiple fronts strikes similar to what we saw in April?
The attack might be more complicated. It might take place from several directions, which will need more force. Even the Iranians, they were basically defeated in mid-April, and they might try to improve their performance to make it more similar to their success in Saudi Arabia several years ago. But the American and the neighboring countries' deployment really helps to try to defeat it as well. Only time will tell how successful it will be. I hope to be successful.
It appears that the Haniya assassination itself is what caused more concern amongst Israel's allies, in particular the United States, which says that it was not given a heads up in terms of what Israel may or may not do and be responsible for. You, as Prime Minister, as Defense Minister, as Chief of Staff, you ordered targeted assassinations as well. This happened during your watch, too. In your view, was that a smart, calculated move to make at this point, given the stage of the fighting in Gaza and whether or not Israel may have indeed been on the precipice of a hostage and ceasefire deal?
As you mentioned, Beyana, Israel did not admit or took responsibility for this attack, so it's somewhat speculative what we are discussing. But let me say the following. Our former heads of Secret Service are claiming that they proposed to Netanyahu 6 times in the last 8 or 10 years to get rid of the whole Hamas leadership in one strike. And Netanyahu consistently rejected it based probably on his policy that Hamas is an asset for unexplainable reasons, and the Palestinian Authority is liability rather than the other way around. So he could be killed by Israelis half a year ago or 3.5 years ago quite easily, and he probably could have been killed by Israel half a year or a year from now. When you think about it, I think that the most urgent challenge for Israel is to bring back the hostages. And in regard to this objective, the fact that Haniya was killed did not help, to say the least.